thing, but a lot of people just kind of take it as a holiday anyway. They'll show up to work, they'll go take a 2-hour lunch, things like that. So, it's one of those quasi holidays. But so I didn't think it would be as crazy today. Just coming down 28.
Because it's April vacation and the kids should be in school and everybody should be where they're supposed to be right now.
Well, that's my other fail because I don't have kids, so I don't know when these things happen.
Dude, I had a weekend. First off, hi, it's Matt. We're Stephanie, and this is your fabulous morning show this morning, being brought to you by MBR Landscaping. Thank you. Give Bruno a call and check them out online, mbrlandscaping.com. And also Cape Islands Kia. Go and tell them Stephanie Viva sent you and test drive a brand new gas sipping EV today. So I had a weekend where I was kidless.
What?
Right?
How did that happen?
Cliff and I planned a night and a half away.
So I heard on Friday on the show, we were talking, that you were going away. I'm like, but she's not saying. I'm wondering if it's some exotic 2-day.
No, God, no.
Oh.
We went to Newport.
Oh, I love Newport.
Yeah, it was restaurant week. Yeah. So I had a couple of things to cover for work. And I'm like, let's make this a day and a half where you and I can do a work vacation.
Do you go to that Parrot restaurant? I love that. Have you been to that place?
I have been to that place.
They have a lobster nachos. Insane. It's nachos with lobster.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
It's basically Cape Cod, but not.
You know what's interesting about Newport, what they've done a great job about, and we've talked about this through the Highness Chamber that I'm on and such, is that Newport has done a great job at staying year-round.
Yeah.
So you can go there in January and February and still get a nice hotel and go to the restaurants. The Cape, we still have that, but I feel as though they've found a formula to stay active more year-round, right?
Yeah, because it's like one out of every 3 restaurants will close down, but they still have a great swath of places that are open. They still have nightlife. They still have things that are going on, things that we don't really have in Massachusetts anymore. Exactly. And they're open. I was like, what time does that? You have live entertainment at 11 o'clock at night?
Like the nightlife police weren't out there shutting them down.
Legit. So we ended up staying at a nearby bed and breakfast that was just opening for the season. So they were very excited and exuberant to have us stay.
Right.
And I said this before I left, that inevitably, as parents that are away from our children, we will be sat next to children.
And you were right?
Yep.
A family of 10?
An empty freaking restaurant. I even made a TikTok joke about it because I was just like, seriously? Empty restaurant. I had this whole side empty, the whole side behind us empty, and a screaming 3-year-old beside us in my ear hole.
What'd you do about that?
Nothing. And then our waitress proceeded to forget about us because I don't know what medication she was on, if she was on an edible, if she forgot us. There really weren't that many things going on during this dinner.
You needed an edible.
It was it was actually laughable as to how much she just ignored us. I was, hello? Our bus girl was so pleasant and served us our food after we had ordered.
Really?
But the end of it, the skies opened up. So we had to walk home 800 feet to our hotel in torrential downpour.
Oh,
my sneakers had water in them. And I laughed. I laughed like a hyena the whole time because it was so not relaxing and romantic.
Did you do any of
we did
the wet shoes?
Yeah, it was just you know what I mean? When someone's like, oh, this hot moment in the rain. No, my husband ran ahead because he didn't want to get wetter.
He left you.
Yeah, left me.
With the umbrella.
I had no umbrella. He's just gone. He's gone. He's there. And I'm like, I guess this romantic moment where I just had my hair dyed. So my hair is dripping with red. I'm wearing a white tank top. It was just not cute. I know. Romantic.
Yeah, you posted up last week of how you were...
my moment. Well, this
Mamacita, right? You know what I mean?
My girlfriend runs a beautiful spa, and she's like, Stephanie, you're stressed out. Just come in. I'm like, there's so many treatments I can get. My husband's like, what are you getting today? I'm like, I don't know, something that makes me not feel like I'm in my life. Do you have that service available?
The non-Stephanie treatment.
Whatever it is, just give it to me. Scrape my face, laser my face, cut my hair, do whatever.
So it all got washed off?
Basically.
Over the weekend?
It's I melted.
Oh, boy. But at least you're still away, right?
I was, and that's it. I almost quit my vacation on Saturday because of the press conference I was fielding with my children.
Oh,
One broke up with a boyfriend.
Oh, no,
One
really?
needed a ride. One's got to play. One's having a meltdown. One didn't want to do the dishes because Vavu was coming. And they know when my dad's coming, things need to be done a certain way because he's a Portuguese old man.
oh yeah. I'm a Portuguese old
What are
man.
you doing with these kids? You're not having these kids on a cleaning? What are you doing? Like, it's my fault. I failed as a parent.
So that kind of defeated the whole purpose of almost the weekend away from
Correct.
the kids because you were, playing Peacemaker.
Correct.
Over the weekend.
Yes.
Were you on like Snapchat or on FaceTime with them?
All day.
All day.
I threw my phone at one point. We were at the breakers and I hucked it across the lawn.
They knew you were away.
Yes.
They couldn't leave mom. They couldn't leave mom and dad alone for
No.
just a couple of hours.
Absolutely not. And I had my 22-year-old daughter home watching them.
Oh my god!
And she's calling me too.
So there was never really a real emergency. Like there wasn't
No.
somebody who had lopped a fingertip off.
No.
It was more like, oh,
But
we
did
have,
you die? No.
yeah, we have drama. We have
Yes.
drama in our lives. So let's go bother mom
Yep.
for the 2 hours that she wants to have free.
That's all he wanted.
That's all you wanted.
That's really I.
And then you get soaking wet.
And then I got abused and ignored at dinner. And then I had a screaming child in my ear.
Sometimes it's just not worth going away. You know what I mean?
Like, well, you got to get away, right? How was
did.
Florida?
It was awesome. I'm surprised I'm here, and I came back for a couple of reasons. One, it's a bad idea to let me loose in Key West for a couple of
I got to
days.
see this.
Oh man! So one thing I found out, and I don't know. I'm concerned because everything always lives on the internet, right? So apparently, I was told at one point that, oh, hey, by the way, did you know that here in Sloppy Joe's there are live cameras watching everybody all over? I'm like, oh, really?
The news guy in you was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to get some sunglasses and a hat.
So it was one of those weird things. So I said, oh, okay, there are some live web cameras here. Interesting. So then I started thinking, all right, well, this would be interesting. I could watch this if I wanted to, and kind of keep an eye on things. And then I realized, no, I'm just going to make an ass out of myself.
Perfect. There's no better way. Good morning, Dave, Sarah, Shandy, John, and Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
So I figured out, so this now the news tech guy shows up, right? Maybe like 2 or 3 drinks into it. And I realized, okay, it's on a 14-second delay. So I could actually go stand in front of one of the cameras, make some kind of weird, funny gesture, and then go back to my phone and capture it. So I could capture myself on the camera. Why? I don't want evidence of what happened in Key West.
Well, you might as well have fun with it. If you're going to be there anyway, you might as well.
So Key West is amazing. I could live there
Really?
in a heartbeat, I think.
There needs to be more beach. That is
Well-
something that people don't understand. If you've never been to Key West, there's really no beach.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of bars and a lot of people watching. Great people watching, mind you. But
Yeah, well, you're right. And one of the reasons is it's actually the whole chain of the Keys is coral. So that's why there's no beaches like we have here. It's actually just coral and rock.
Yep.
So you're right. People who haven't been there before kind of get a little surprised and say, "Where's the,
Where's the beach?"
Where's the beach?" Well, it's this little speck of sand right here that you can put your foot on.
that's it. Unless you're in the Coast Guard, then you
Right.
can get over this wall.
Exactly. But otherwise, you just go to the pools and sit at the pools
Yep.
all day. And they bring drinks to the pools and everything. And at one point, I thought my liver was coming home in a box. But
Rip.
I mean, like,
Thank you, liver.
I said, "How many livers do you have?" Because I may need an extra. I don't really drink, but I'm in Key West. So,
Yeah, right. So that's the culture.
You know?
Yeah, everybody there. It's wild. Like hog's breath. You barely
Hog's
survive.
Breath, Sloppy
Yeah,
Joe's,
yeah.
Margaritaville, all of it. So it was a great time. And then popped up to Miami, which is a totally different vibe.
Yeah.
I do not fit in Miami.
No.
Right? I'm a Cape Cod guy. You're lucky I'm wearing pants today. I mean,
Yeah.
because not like that. I mean, because I like to wear. I said that when I actually.
And I looked down too.
know you
I was like, wait a minute, what? Why am I looking here?
Why are you looking to see if Matt has pants on?
Good morning, Mary Jane.
But I came back. I said that I said that to somebody at work the other day, and they said, "Oh, how was good? How was the trip? Good. I just don't want to have to ever wear pants again." And they didn't understand what I was saying.
Yeah.
They're like, no, like shorts. Don't you notice I only wear shorts if I don't have to have my
Yeah.
pants on? I want to be somewhere where I don't have to put pants on again.
Yeah, there you go.
But I feel like you have to qualify that when you say that to people
You
don't
do.
know.
Yeah, especially being, a white middle-aged man.
I know, exactly.
Wait a minute. What I meant was.
But so Miami is a different vibe. It's like, it's cool, right? I'm not cool. I'm not slick.
It's metropolitan and Latin.
Right. And it's just a little bit more dressy.
Yeah.
People are dressier.
They're fancy.
They're fancy,
Yeah.
know? And so I enjoyed the time there, but then I even more enjoyed, drove up to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Which was nice. The more beachy boardwalk.
Definitely.
And they have a Margaritaville there, so of course I was,
yeah.
Got myself hooked up in there in terms of having some beverages and all that. So, but it was a great time. It was great to be away. It was interesting. I rented a car, and I realized very quickly.
Because you're a car guy. So you don't just rent a car. What did you rent?
Convertible 5-liter Mustang GT.
See, I knew this. We didn't even talk.
Dual exhaust, with the vacuum boost turbo on it and everything.
Means nothing to me. I'm like, how cheap is it? Will it get me to point A and B?
It
Thank
was a
you.
beautiful car.
Very different.
Air-conditioned seats, everything.
Oh,
so.
well then.
Yeah, so I've been looking at them since I came back. So I may have to add it to the car stable. I'm not sure. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. But one thing I realized is how bad we are as drivers in New England. So I'm driving along, and I tried to calm down my aggressiveness. I call it back in the day. I call it the 128 shuffle. So back in the day when we used to just call it 128 and not 95 and 128. That's a 3-4 lanes in some area.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a true Massachusetts driver, like I am,
Yep.
can I say
You're a masshole.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I can say masshole. So if you're a true masshole driver,
Yeah.
when you're on 128, you go from one side to the other with no directions.
That's it.
That's the 128
The
shuffle.
Wild West. You just go.
But
Frogger.
people freak out when they're with me in the car. They say, "Why don't you put the directional on?" I said, "I don't want them to know what I'm doing. I want to be able to sneak in and get in
You
front
want
of
them to see caution. This guy doesn't know where he's going. Caution. Get away from me.
So I try to calm myself down when I'm traveling. If I'm out west, usually in Arizona and Vegas, I try not to be the masshole that a driver I am. So I was really trying to be that way. Plus, I'm driving this ridiculously nice, expensive Mustang.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be careful
Sticking
with it,
out,
right?
yeah.
So I'm trying to be careful with it. So I'm coming back through the Keys, and I see this car that's coming up from behind, and I can just see this car weaving, swerving, and I'm thinking, wow, that person's really aggressive driver. And before the car passes, I'm like, that's got to be a car from the Northeast. I swear to you, this car goes ripping by me on the outside lanes from Maryland.
Oh, okay.
So same thing, Northeast driver.
Yeah.
So I realized that I forgot how aggressive and bad we are as drivers.
It's pretty bad.
I mean, coming over here through the detours today, I was ready to drive through a barricade.
Yeah.
We're just so aggressive. I don't know what our problem is.
Yep. It's road ragey. And then today also, if you are headed to go see the Red Sox, or if you're headed to go and cheer on your marathon friends and somewhere on the, just know that you are not going to be ripping through anything. It is just slow going.
By the way.
No matter what.
By the way, Sarah says the pants are overrated. By the way.
Right? Who needs pants?
And then Lisa says, I actually didn't realize, I probably should have described this. She said nose pants and air-conditioned seats.
Yeah.
I'm just going to tell you it was a nice ride.
I can't even look at you. I'm not even making eye contact. No, I do not want to look at it.
But anyway, so it was a good trip.
That's awesome.
Back in the saddle here, doing our thing.
And Patricia makes a valid point. Most Florida drivers are from the Northeast.
No, that's a good point. But I think they've mellowed out.
Yeah, and it depends on where. I feel like the Northeast, our people, it's like there's two places that they go when they go down there. It's like the Tampa area.
Well, Naples, too.
And then, Naples.
A lot of our friends of ours from over the years, as you know who I'm talking about, some of our friends.
The seasonal.
They're all in Naples, and so I was texting some of our friends while I was down there and saying, I may have accidentally sent them some pictures from Sloppy Joe's, which...
We're sloppy.
I need to know. I need to look at the Florida.
Was that on video?
Yeah, it was. I need to see what the Florida statute of limitations is.
That's awesome. I love this.
No, but I was texting and they said, "Well, listen." I said, I got to move down here. So this is where I got to live. But they said, seriously, before you make any decisions, and I guess this is true, before you make that Florida decision, they said check out the West Coast. So I've never been to the West Coast of Florida ever. So apparently it's different.
Yeah.
Like, totally different.
Like the Destin area?
I guess, right?
Yeah, Fort Walton Beach.
Venice.
Yeah.
Right north of Naples. So, because the Keys were beautiful and Hollywood was beautiful, but they said don't make any decisions until you check out the West Coast. So I think that's going to be probably early October.
It's a little too close to Alabama for my liking.
Well, if you go too far north.
Yeah,
maybe,
right. Just a little too close for me. But Fort Walton, Destin is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It is.
So yeah, it was a good trip. It's, and what was good about it for me is that, I go through what I call the Cape Cod crud. I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
February, March, January you can kind of get through, but February, March on the Cape, I call it the Cape Cod crud.
Yeah,
It's just-
seasonal depression.
Oh,
You just
right?
need some sunlight and just like a little warmth. My girlfriend right now did the same thing, and she flew down there with two preteen boys. I'm like,
God.
ugh, that sounds awful.
yeah, it's miserable.
But she just needed the sun so badly. She's like, I'm going to Sarasota. Got a cheap flight going.
Yeah. So
That's it.
yeah, I mean, I think that it was good that I went when I did because we came back and now the weather's better.
Yeah.
If I'd gone in January and then had to live through February and March,
Yeah, that's even more
it
depressing.
wouldn't have gone well.
Slide you right back
You know what I mean?
further.
I would have been so far down that rabbit hole. It
Yeah.
would have been funny. So
I know. I couldn't even believe how beautiful Friday was. It was just like a taste of thank you.
Right.
Summer. It's almost here, but not.
No, then we get slapped in the face.
Absolutely.
When you get soaked and all of your new stuff dripped down
Welcome
your
to New England.
face,
Perfect.
Oh boy.
Well, it's not just vacations. You were talking about one of your friends with a new type of vacation, which I've never heard of and I think is ludicrous.
This is unreal. So talking with a guy that we work with, and he says to me, this is a couple weeks ago, and it was Friday. We usually have a conference call on Friday, and we like to talk football. Like we're two guys, we do our business.
Yeah.
We do our official business on the video call. Then we have to go all home improvement, like, rah, 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 rah. Like we have
That's
to be,
all right,
We have to
Tim.
become guys,
Tim
like,
Taylor.
you know what I mean? So we have to become guys. Say, it's all the Patriots going to do this week. So he's a Jets fan. Like, the Jets, they suck, they lose. And so anyway, I said, hey, you got anything good planned for the weekend? He's like, I got my dadchular. Like your what? Your dadchular party, right?
I feel like he just made that up. I've never seen anything like this before in my life.
So he's probably early 30s, probably lives in New York City. Very much part of that cosmopolitan
Okay.
lifestyle. So the dadchular party is apparently a new thing. It's for new parents. So he's married. And his friend is having their first baby.
Okay.
So the wife of that friend is having the baby shower, which for guys is just miserable. I mean, no guy
Right.
wants to go to a baby
No,
shower.
no.
Oh, look, it's another diaper bag, whatever.
Yeah.
So what they do now is these baby showers are now becoming weekend junkets. Like women are going for 2 days. It's
Yeah.
baby shower. And so the guys now have created this dadchular concept where when the women have their baby shower for 2 days, all the guys, the husband of the woman having the baby or the father and all his
Yeah,
bros,
the father to be.
the father-to-be and all his bros go away to Vegas or Nashville for a dadchular party. The concept, he says, is for the dad, and this is for new dads, first-time dads, is that basically your life is about to end because you're going to have your first baby, so your time is no longer going to be yours. So it's your last chance to rip it up. So they're going to Vegas for 2 days for a dadchular.
Yeah,
while
this
there's
is ridiculous.
a dadchular party.
I
Can you imagine what happens at a dadchular party?
No.
You know what I mean? Now, I don't know. As a prank, I'd dress the father up in a diaper and send him out onto the strip. See what goes.
I'm down for that.
You know
I
what I
like
mean?
that very much.
So, things always come to the Cape 10 years late. That's what that's my experience, right?
Are we ever going to be a dadchular destination?
We're going to be.
Is this some of the things we watch in the Chamber of Commerce?
I don't think so, but
Guys, coming to us.
Right?
It's never going to come to us.
yeah. So, but he was jacked up. Like, I'm going to my dadchular. We're going on a dadchular party.
I feel like any chance to be able to get out and feel like you're young and vibrant and single for a hot second, even if it doesn't take, you guys will take it.
I thought it was just an excuse for this guy to get away from his two kids.
100%.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Oh yeah.
'Cause he's
I
got two-
got to support my friend.
He's got two
Okay.
kids. He's like, I got to go. Yeah, exactly.
We know the motivation. You ain't got to lie, Craig.
So apparently it's like Vegas or Nashville. Do you feel that Nashville's becoming the new Vegas?
I don't.
Some people are calling it Nash
Just
Vegas.
because everything that's going on in Tennessee, I feel like I would like to avoid the area. I'm glad I got in. I'm glad I got in and I got out.
But so many people I hear, especially I'm hearing it among
It is Nash Vegas.
college students, right? I going to Nashville just
And
for
you
the
know what?
weekends.
It's too pricey. It's so expensive.
I've never been there.
Yeah, it's very expensive. We drank the town dry the last time I went there for a Pats game that we lost.
That's a
that
lot of-
was
that's a lot of
embarrassing.
alcohol in that
Like
show.
they were like, we're closed. And it was all of New England that just drank the town dry.
Well, I could see that happening.
Yeah, 100% did. It was very funny after that dejecting loss of the Pats game as we're all leaving and everybody's flooding out of the stadium. I heard someone scream, Stephanie Viva, I love you.
great.
As I'm crossing the bridge and I'm like, hi, Nashville. Hi.
Did you give him the Queen wave?
I did. It's like, thank you. It usually happens to me when I'm on vacation pretty much anywhere.
Right.
It's
Okay.
just very weird. I have a very distinct voice and laugh. So we've been in foreign countries. We've been at Disney on a ride.
That's great.
I don't know if that's great. Or once again, you can't hide. It's like you dancing in front of
I
closed
know.
circuit TV cameras.
I'm
We're like,
horrified.
I shouldn't probably do this, but I'm going to do it anyway.
No, I'm concerned about that because
Are you running for office?
I don't know. What if I decide to run for president someday, and then that shows
Okay.
up? Then the Sloppy Joe video shows up. Now, and then you could take that two ways, but it's the Sloppy Joe.
I mean, look at our former presidents. I don't think you could be any worse.
So I get one.
I don't.
get one
I don't think
mulligan?
that you could be any worse. Like,
Probably
just
not.
Look at the last, I don't know, couple of decades. I think you're fine.
So then, but I'll tell you what. This is my theory in life, and I feel as though I let it slip for just maybe a day or so.
Yeah.
But my theory is, people always complain our privacy is gone, and you know what? You're right. It's gone.
Yeah.
So my theory in life is if you don't want somebody to know what you're doing, or you don't, just make sure you're in your house with the doors shut and the blinds drawn. Otherwise, assume you're being watched.
All the time. That's what I tell my children. Pretend there's a camera on you all the time.
Because there really is. The second that you step out of your house, assume you're being watched. There's no way, we're never going back.
Right.
It's never changing.
No.
So I back up in Miami. No, I'm sorry. Back up at the pool now in Key West.
Yep.
Right, late, because the pools are open late, which is awesome. So you can go into the pool. I'm like swimming around like, they've got live web cameras on these swimming pools. Like, great.
We're giving them a show.
No. No.
I didn't know where we were going with this. Pitta.
No, there were no show.
For
But-
pants on, no pants on, AC down there. Now he's giving shows. I mean,
But
that's a burlesque show I pay for.
you don't want to trust me. Nothing you want to see.
Good morning, everyone. Hey, Tommy, welcome home. Tom just got back from Portugal.
Oh, Portugal.
Brandon, Mary Jane, she got rid of her. Yeah, it's a diaper party. A long way from a diaper party is right. And hello, Miss Melissa. Thank you for joining us. So you're swimming around.
Yeah,
It's late at night.
Yeah, but
everybody's watching you.
So I guess I'm realizing, wow, everything is under camera here.
Did you feel this like little voyeuristic person in you say, all right, let's give him a show. Let's do it.
Well, when I got out of the pool, they may have accidentally gotten a show. I don't know. Because when you get out of a pool,
That's it.
I don't know how it is for women, but you have to be very tactical when you're going up the stairs. on a pool.
Exactly.
Because for whatever reason, as you make that last step up on the pool step, the suction from the water pulls your pants off.
Yes, the gravity. Gravity's back.
So you have to strategically hold. I don't know what I mean.
Girls have it. Well, it depends on what kind of bathing suit you wear. And
Right.
I've been absolutely pantsed by my children at the beach. It doesn't even matter. I remember right after I think Cody was, I don't even know, 1 or 2 or whatever. And I was talking to one of the neighbors, full beach. It's like July 4th. And he's just like, mommy, like pantsed me right there. And I'm like, yep, there you go. This is kids. So, I mean, it depends on what kind of wardrobe malfunction we're talking
Yeah,
Pitta.
no, you're right. So
I
you
lost all of my shame like 30 years ago, so I just don't care anymore.
You do get to an age where you don't care.
Yeah, and also after you've birthed a child, you just don't. The fire department could be in there. You're like, what? How does it look down there? I don't know. I can't see. Sure. I was working. I had my first child at a teaching hospital, and like all of a sudden, I'm like, yep, there's like 7 people down there, and I'm
Watching?
like, sure, like here we go.
Are they like the movie theater having
That's
popcorn?
it. Yeah, basically.
Watching the show?
Yep. You here for the floor show? All right, perfect. Not exactly what you were hoping for, is it? And so I've just, I've been a zoo animal all my life, apparently,
Oh man. Well, I hope nobody got a show. So, but you do have to be careful.
sure they did.
Yeah, I mean, you got to strategically hold the bathing suit.
That's
and
it.
and then pull yourself out of the pool.
That's it.
So anyway, but it was cool. It was good. It was good to get away.
Yeah, you needed that too, because you, like me, are constantly got your hands in a lot of things.
Nonstop.
And it's a lot of moving parts, and to be able to like just remove yourself from that being that cog for a few days is really nice. You need to.
I came back, try to ease into things.
Right.
So I actually did try to keep on work. I tried to keep up on work email while you're away, just to, you don't want to come back to 45,000 emails. So you keep up on that, what have you. But I wanted to ease into things when I came back. I didn't want to get right crazy. So I actually kind of went on this like, movie binge for 36 hours. I haven't seen a good movie in a while.
I know. I haven't been to the movies in a bit. I saw 80 for Brady, and I think that was it.
So you know what? I was watching that last night, but I fell asleep during it. So I'm going to have to pick it up from there. So I just haven't felt as though there's really anything really all that interests me over the last year or so. But I've been really wanting to see Air, which is the true story of the Air Jordan deal with Nike. Yeah,
they did a really good job putting that together, and I kind of forgot it was there because everything is Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah, I don't watch any of that.
Seriously, $87.7 million.
I know.
I'm ashamed of us.
I know. I agree.
We're disgusting. Continue.
Yeah. But first of all, that movie has so many people that I love in it. Right? It's got Ben Affleck, Matt Damon. Oh my God, his name just slipped my head from Ozark.
Jason Bateman.
Thank you. So I just love those actors.
Yeah.
And I really, I'm older than you are. That was right when I grew up, smack dab middle of the 80s.
Yeah.
So I remember all that thing with the Air Jordans because as a kid, it was really weird. They had pictures.
Still one of the best selling sneakers all time.
They had pictures in the movie of those Nikes I wore as a kid. It was the white ones with the red stripes. It's what you wore.
The very basic ones.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
We all had them.
So I wanted to see this movie because one, I love those actors, and two, I just grew up in the middle of that. And I remember the whole Nike thing when the Air Jordans came out. And it was I will tell you what, I'm a big sports movie fan guy.
Yep. Sports movie fan guy. You heard it first.
Sports movie fan guy. Did I say that right?
Sports movie fan guy. Yeah, you did.
So I immediately put that into the top 5 all-time sports movies. That's how good I think it was.
Sarah says YouTube has a lot of Sloppy Joe's videos. So much for a productive day off. And good morning, Junior. Congratulations. You were at the Bloody Mary mix-off. I think captains, hey, it was your first competition. Good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get to that in a hot second. So you got to see it.
Yeah.
It was good?
Listen, top 5, in my mind, top 5 sports movies of all time. I put it up there with Field of Dreams.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that's saying a lot.
It's not number 1, but it's now in my top 5.
No, it was actually it was number 5 at the box office over the weekend with $7.7 million.
But one thing I loved about it is so time period correct. And I thought I was watching myself in high school because of what everyone was wearing.
Okay, good.
The members only jackets.
Yeah.
And then the Ben Affleck character who's Phil Knight. You don't like Ben Affleck?
No, I was just laughing at the members only jacket look.
Right? So Ben Affleck plays Phil Knight, who is basically the guy who creates Nike.
Yep.
And so in many of the scenes, he's shown running, and he's in those classic 80s Nike jumpsuits.
Oh, those outfits.
I love, with the multiple colors and everything. And the fanny pack.
So painful to look at.
The fanny pack.
Well, that was the funny part of 80 for Brady. Did you get to that part?
Yes.
That was like Sally Field's funniest line. Like that was the best part. Yeah, her strap on. Right? It was the best.
So I loved Air. Go see it. It's mostly correct. I read up on it afterwards.
I like that though.
Yeah. But the fashion's great, just to see everybody in that 80s fashion and the 80s cars too, which I love.
Oh God.
But I have my 80s fanny pack.
Stop. Still?
I do. Yeah. Haven't you seen it?
I feel like I've seen you bust that out on occasion at some events.
I'm pretty sure as we're talking
he brings it out like a proud papa.
Yeah.
When he's at an event that he gets to wear the fanny pack at. And then has to tell everybody like the specs of said fanny pack.
I know.
I do appreciate it though, but it is like a proud papa. Like, look at this.
Yeah,
she's in pristine shape. We still wear her.
Right? Exactly. Of course, one of my friends who I'll remain nameless, I posted a picture of it. And I said, I got my fanny pack. I'm going to wear it. He said, you're not wearing that fanny pack.
You're like, but I am.
I remember
Were you disallowed to wear the fanny pack?
No, but he says that I can't. He's like, I can't fit into it. All right, enough.
Rude.
You know what I mean? So I think I'm about to find it for you here.
Oh, I definitely want to see that.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah. This is literally it. This is my EMS fanny pack.
She's so pretty.
Look at that. It's even, I had the extra fancy one with the drink holder.
Yeah, right?
Right?
You know when your fanny pack has a
probably can't see
koozie.
it,
Our new streaming service that we're going to start using, we'll be able to drop the photo into our live. So I'm going to enjoy that next time we have you when you have evidence to share with us.
Right? I remember wearing this 1987. I went to Universal theme park in LA.
Perfect.
With some high school friends. And we went there and I strapped that thing on and I was proud. This was me. Ready? You want me to stand up?
Please do.
Hold on a second.
Make sure your pants are on.
I remember strapping. I remember put that thing on. I put it on, and I was like, "Look at my fanny pack." People loved. But
That's it.
But you know what? Here's the thing.
This guy.
My fanny pack is so big that
How big is it, Matt?
it's my fanny pack. What? I'm talking about my fanny pack. I showed you my. Do you want to see my fanny pack again? Look it. It's a good size fanny pack.
It is a good size fanny pack.
There's lots of room in it.
Put extra compartments there.
You need to hold extra things.
That's it.
When you need more room with your fanny pack, this is the one to have. What's the problem?
Nothing.
So-
It's perfect.
But you know what happened with this fanny pack?
What happened with the fanny pack?
Back in 1987, when I was wearing this exact fanny pack, there were three friends. Four of us traveled to Los Angeles.
Yep.
Everybody said we want to put our stuff in your fanny pack. So my fanny pack had to carry. I carried everyone's.
It's BS.
Junk in
Your
there.
preparedness.
I had people's wallets, their lip balm,
All that extra junk in that pack.
right? But look I still have it. I mean, look at what good condition it is.
It is a great condition.
Have you ever seen a fanny pack 35 years old that doesn't have things like
No.
tears and wrinkles?
Watermarks. I mean, there's nothing. She looks in tip-top shape.
I mean, I took care of my fanny pack.
Yep.
What? I don't know.
You take great care of all of your things. That's why you're a collector, though.
I'm telling you, I just
You collect the cars. He's got leg lamps.
Yes.
If you ever want just a good old fashioned laugh, you need to be following Matt Pitta on social because you never know what he's going to post and what shit he's going to stir up. It really is just I commend you on being a great time on social. You are the reason why social media was invented and should be continuing.
I just tell people that observational humor is kind of my thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's an interesting thing I've been told. What do you think about it?
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all. Nothing
It's
else.
some of my favorite stuff. Well, you said that there's been big firings on social media, so maybe you were going to have to manage it. This shit, mind my language, but seriously, I was like, please, have they ever worked in radio? These people have not.
So
Never.
this was, I think it was Friday or Saturday. I'm just kind of perusing, the news feeds that I watch 24/7 because, I can't stop myself. So I saw something about the controversy. As you know, big tech has been having huge layoffs.
Yeah, big time.
Big tech really got fat. They fattened themselves up during COVID because they were hiring nonstop. The Metas, the Facebooks, the YouTubes.
And I saw exposés where they had full-on teams with nothing to do. They're just sitting in there twiddling their thumbs at work.
So I read an article a couple months back about places like Meta and Alphabet, which owns Google.
Yep.
They were hiring engineers and people not to actually employ them, but to make sure they didn't go to work for Twitter.
Other places.
They were literally hiring people and they had nothing to do. People were writing that, where can I get that job? You know what I mean?
Right?
Although we've worked with some people who sat around and did nothing all day.
The false hustle. I've never seen that before in my life.
Right,
Better than
exactly.
you've seen it in radio.
That's
You
for
walking
sure.
around with papers in your hand. What are you
Right,
doing?
Exactly.
That's false hustle. False. I know you're doing nothing in there.
Right, exactly. So recently there have been a lot of layoffs at Meta, which I still hate calling it Meta. It's Facebook or
I
whatever.
know.
So we'll just call it Facebook for now. But so there have been a lot of layoffs at Facebook. Something like recently 10,000 or so layoffs at Facebook.
Within like the last week, and then there was like 15,000. There's just a lot of people losing their jobs in tech right now.
So the New York Times did this big expose last week about, well, how are the workers handling it? How are they handling not having as many coworkers, and how are they handling the possible cutbacks? And I want to say, listen, people like us who spend our whole lives in radio, you went to work every day not knowing if you're going to have a job.
That's it. That's it. You had to bring your own shit to work.
Right, exactly.
Your own headphones, your own stuff, all of your own everything. Like, you want a laptop? That's great. Buy it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I had to buy Post-it. I had to buy Post-it notes because they wouldn't buy me Post-it
We're
notes.
like teachers. We have nothing. If we want it, we buy it.
So the New York Times does this piece on Friday, and it was Thursday or Friday, and they were interviewing these Meta workers who I suddenly don't feel bad for.
Yeah, right.
So here's the deal. So
I don't feel bad for you.
Meta's cost cuts have other employees less than thrilled.
Why are they less than thrilled, Matt?
The internal chat rooms that are being monitored by the New York Times now
Everybody's watching.
Right? Now show that workers have become extremely frustrated by what they say is a lack of variety in the amount of free provided cereal.
Deplorable working conditions.
So the Meta workers are now in revolt because of all the cutbacks have included the amount of free cereal they get and the choices of which they get for free cereal. And they're very upset because they've downgraded some of the cafeteria options that are available to the Meta workers.
This office is a prison.
I mean, there should be an immediate strike. I mean, this is ridiculous. What has happened to people? Are we that soft?
Yes.
That they go to work and they only had one Cheerios. They didn't have the extra sugar-coated Cheerios.
It's so hard for me as a parent to sit and listen to some of their arguments of equality and making things better in the workplace and in their own lives. And like, if they felt one iota of a struggle like we did in the 80s when we had the fanny pack, they would never, it's impossible to explain to them the wherewithal it is to suffer.
We're pretty soft now.
Such injustice.
It is an injustice. No cereal, no peace.
That's it.
No cereal, no peace. No cereal, no peace.
He said it. I mean, he meant it too. Patricia wants to know, my question is, why do you still have the fanny pack? An 80s Monte Carlo, yes. A fanny pack, not so much.
Well,
Good question. And good morning, Dina.
I can rock that fanny pack. Well, I still have one of my cars is from the 70s, so I do keep my vehicles too. I've got a car from the 70s. I'm looking at an 80s Mustang right now that's for sale down in Harwich. I've been looking at. So
yeah,
I am a guy. I grew up smack dab in the middle of the 80s. I'm the kind of the quintessential 80s. My entire high school career was in the middle of the 80s.
Yeah,
I just exude 80s. That's the way it is, So. Yeah, so funny final line from this New York Times story. While some might argue that no cereal is a far cry from the Hunger Games, working at Meta does sound pretty miserable these days. I'm like, how is that possible that it's miserable because you don't have a good cereal selection?
You're equating, like, this is such first world problems.
It is.
I can't.
No, I'm serious.
The Hunger Games, we suffered.
And then you think it through. I think it through from the news guy's side now as a journalist. Then I start thinking, did the New York Times really legitimately write a story in which they actually validate Meta workers who are upset because of their Frosted Flakes? Mm-hmm. So there's a whole new dimension to the story in my mind.
Absolutely.
About why are we even doing a story about Meta workers upset about Frosted Flakes?
But that's the age bracket in which our new reporters are reporting in. Oh. That is the age, and these are the things that are affecting them.
No, it's just craziness.
That's where they're at.
I know.
Meanwhile, you've got people that just won't retire or leave the workforce, like Clint Eastwood.
Right.
Who, the man is 93 years old and getting ready, set to go and produce Juror number 2.
I know.
Which I was like, oh, we already did that one, right?
I know, but you know what?
This is a famous Henry Fonda one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know what? Clint Eastwood can do anything, and I'm going to go watch it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Come on. He's just the boss, right?
93 years old.
You know?
There was a question of where he was because he kind of disappeared from social life for a little while. Mm-hmm. And they got a divorce. And he's got young kids still. Like, it's... The man has had 14 lives. He's like a cat.
It's just amazing. I mean, I can't wait I want to see that movie. I'll tell you one of the movies I like the best from him. I mean, it's hard to pick. With somebody like Clint Eastwood, I think you have to almost do periods of time. Like,
Yeah.
what was your? You can't say what's my favorite.
It's like
Clint
the Taylor
Eastwood.
Swift situation right now, where
Right.
she's, which Taylor do you like? And people are dressing up as the
Right.
eras,
Correct.
and which Taylor Swift is.
Right.
Clint Eastwood's got way more eras
Yeah, exactly.
to choose from.
So I love Gran Torino.
Yeah, it was
Just
good.
love Gran Torino. So he's got so many great movies, So
His last one that came out, he was a little fuddy-duddy, and it was
Yeah.
definitely showing like his aged self, but
Yeah.
still also a badass.
Yeah,
and
he
still
really is.
someone that kind of made me afraid.
oh, he would come. He
This
would,
frail old man could still kick my ass.
oh, you kidding me? If he came into the studio right now, he'd give us a whooping.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? He would, and you take it. Yes, Mr. Eastwood. Yes, Mr. Eastwood.
Yes, sir. No problem. Yes, sir.
I don't really follow Taylor Swift. Not that I don't like her.
Yeah.
But I'm just not. I probably liked, believe it or not, I actually liked probably her earlier stuff when she was a little more country.
Yep.
Before she went pop.
Her
which is
baby
fine.
stuff.
Yeah, which is great. I think she's an amazing artist. But now I don't follow this part of pop culture enough. Maybe I know you will. So I hear there's a big kerfuffle that she's not with the guy anymore.
Yeah, she
right?
broke up with Joe Alwyn.
Does this mean we're going to get a whole new album
Of course.
based on this guy?
Absolutely. And being on tour.
Is this guy going to be screwed now because he's going to get a whole album?
He's rather vanilla, and
Is
he's
he really?
also British.
Okay.
So, I mean, I feel like there's
not a whole lot there.
I don't feel like there's a lot there.
Hello, Taylor.
Yeah, right?
Hello, Governor.
I think it was very like, nice and fluffy and just kind of like respectable. Like, who wants that relationship? Not for me, thanks.
When I heard-
need drama, trauma, strife,
The
fun.
10 kids calling you on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Right?
Like, I don't want it. I'm not here for anything else.
It's good to know because I felt kind of bad. I was worried over the weekend when I saw a little Twitter thing that Taylor wasn't with her man anymore. And I'm like,
Oh, he was so worried.
I was
Look
worried.
at him. Lost sleep.
But I was worried, like, is this guy going to get an album named after him? Because
He might,
Right?
but also it might just be like the thought of what she thought was going to be her life is not going to be her life. But I think that he was her happily ever after.
Was he?
That kind of never. He just seems kind of boring.
so let me ask
very
you this.
bland.
So let me ask you this.
No toast, like white dry toast.
Well, that's okay. That's every now and then. That's all right.
Right? It's just not my cup of tea.
I hear you.
And I don't think it's Taylor Swift's either. I think it was just safe. Yes.
Do you think that before a guy gets into a relationship with Taylor now, do they think it through all the way? Is there going to be
You have to. You would be a fool not to.
is there trepidation that wow, Taylor Swift, look at this amazingly like attractive, talented, probably one of the more talented singers of our time. I could have the world with her, but I don't want a song written after me if things go badly. Are guys thinking that through now, do you think?
I don't think that if you've even gotten within the proximity of the circle to have that possibility in your life that you haven't thought that through.
Yeah.
I don't think that she would even allow anybody.
But the guys are like, oh, it's worth it,
Yeah.
to be with Taylor Swift and to
That's
date her.
work.
Yeah.
Like that you need
think
to
so?
you need to put in some work.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
You
That
can't
is
skate on that relationship.
You know that. You know that that's not real.
Well, I hope the best for both of them.
You're right.
Right?
We wish you the best. What are all the cliche things you say in awkward situations where you don't know what to say?
I only want the best for you.
You're right. It was meant to be. Something else is around the corner. Like those horrible cliches people say to you when it's awkward and they don't know what to do with their hands.
You deserve the best in life.
Yeah,
But
let's
when you
keep
say-
it amicable.
When you say that, you have to lower your voice.
Yeah.
And you deserve the best.
Yeah, right. That's intention right there.
Right?
I like
You know
that.
what I mean? So, well, I'm glad that I hope that they both will find some happiness. And,
Sure.
And I hope that for his sake, do you know? I don't even know who he is. Is he a singer?
He's an actor.
Oh, he's an actor.
Yeah, and he's been in a few things.
Has he
I
been?
mean, he's just one of those people that blend.
So that's why it was low key too, right?
Yeah.
They've been together for a few years.
Yeah, like
Wow.
6 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Well, she's gonna have to start all over again.
Yeah, right?
Does she go on? So I hear there's some new dating apps out there, like Hinge and things like that. Does
Yep,
she- does
Hinge
she-
and Bumble and what are the famous ones have their own.
their own
The famous
apps?
people have their own app.
And only famous people can be on the apps?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, you have to be vetted for that.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what we should
They
have?
don't just date in the cesspool of things that are like Hinge and Bumble.
What do you think a Cape Cod focused app would look like for dating? How's that going to come across? right? Hello, I'm a fisherman.
Wintertime,
Wintertime.
or summertime.
Right, exactly.
Those are two separate apps.
Right?
And you're talking to someone who has never been single here on Cape Cod.
I mean,
So there's that.
I think I've got a business model to work on.
I don't think that that's going to be the thing that you think it's going to be.
A Cape Cod only app, dating app. What's that going to look like?
Embargo.
And here's what you call it. Here's what you call it, right?
What?
I've got it.
What?
Somebody please get...
This is ours.
This is ours.
Back off.
Copyright 2023.
Right.
Stephanie Viva Matt Pitta.
Yes.
It's called The Hook. Because it's Cape Cod.
That's it.
fishing. The Hook.
All right.
Who are you going to hook up with tonight on the Cape Cod dating?
So yeah, is it going to be Tinder? Is it going to be serious?
I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. What's the difference? Is there... Is
One's a hookup
really?
and one's serious.
Okay. Well,
I mean, eventually those hookups can lead, but like Tinder is just you're hooking up for the night. There's
that
no
what Tinder is?
expectation for Tinder.
All right. I don't
Tinder
know.
is like, are you going to be my buddy for an hour? I'm in the area.
Mr. Right Now?
Let's go meet in a bathroom. That's Tinder.
In a bathroom?
I don't know. This is from the people I know that use it.
I
It's
think
like the grinder situation.
What's that?
That's the male Tinder.
What?
It's for boys only.
I feel like I'm missing... I don't know a lot of these
You
things.
should not know those things. It's okay that you don't know those things.
So, I'm telling... Hook, that's it. Hook is going to be the Cape Cod
It's
dating app.
ours. Back off.
The Hook. That's it. I'm telling you. I mean, come on. A Cape Cod-based dating app?
That's it. That sounds horrifying.
You know what I mean? I spend my winters in Wellfleet in a shack down by the water.
In a van down by the river. Doesn't this sound enticing to
My
you?
hobbies are fishing and knot tying.
And a lot of drinking. And rock skipping. I can do that also.
Right.
You're welcome. The summer comes, I'm never around. Good luck to you.
My idea of a good fashion night out, gray sweatpants, a beachcomber sweatshirt, and my hair tied back in an elastic.
That's it. A nice high messy bun.
Right?
That's it. I love it. Sounds good. So speaking of embargo, you happen to partake in one of our very wonderful charity nonprofit events that we have, the Bloody Mary Mix-Off. Dave and Marissa do a really good job. It's for the Kennedy Donovan Center,
Yes.
and 100% of the proceeds go to that. There are some new people that were involved in it this year, making some Bloody Marys. Pates won first place. Baxter's was third, I thought. Third.
So can I say who I
Fourth was
voted for?
captains. Yeah.
Yeah, I voted for Baxter's.
Okay.
Yep, I've always liked their Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, and I guess I can reveal all, right? I don't
Yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
This
No
show
secrets anymore.
This show is wide open, right?
That's it.
So I would have. I can tell you that I would have voted for John Cautalessa and Old Gourmet and Original Gourmet Brunch.
They retired.
but he and T have retired, which is great for them. They both look great yesterday. John looked so relaxed.
Right? Much different than I DJ'd his birthday party.
I heard that was awesome.
Yeah, it really was amazing. But to see him now, he looks like the weight of the world is off of him. And I'm just really happy for him to enjoy his life a little bit.
I hope
we
that-
love you, John and T.
Yeah, and they're going to really bang it out of the park with their catering.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. They're still working.
Original Gourmet Brunch
Yeah.
catering. And so anyway, so his Bloody Marys are insane. So the last couple of years I've been voting for Original Gourmet Brunch, but he wasn't in it this year. But he was there, and T were there, and they were great. So I did go for Baxter's. I enjoyed it. I get mocked when I go and order Bloody Marys
Why?
because, again, I'm not a big drinker. You know, I mean, I had my day. You know, we all did, right?
Yeah.
And except when I went to Key West and things got a little out of control.
Right.
I'm not anti-drinking. It's not my thing.
Don't need to do it.
But I do love a good Bloody Mary. So when a bunch of us go out to get Bloody Marys on the weekend, they mock me because I
You're
say
specific.
no, but I say I'll get a Bloody Mary light on the vodka, please.
Oh, yeah. I'd mock you too.
They mock me.
Yeah, I would mock you also.
And so some of my friends say, I'll take his extra vodka.
Exactly.
Right? But so
Waste not, want not.
right. So anyway, it's what I like my Bloody
Yeah.
Mary. So, but I don't like it too spicy, right? So I found the Baxter's one was just the perfect mix, and Tugboats was pretty good too. I
Yeah.
like that one. They were all very good, but those are the ones that I liked. What I loved is that it wasn't just like you're drinking. So many of the restaurants had amazing
Snacks.
Oh my God. They had bacon, shrimp, meat.
Yeah,
in
some
it.
of them, it looked like an absolute buffet
It was
on
amazing.
top of the
Yeah.
Bloody Mary. So
And then
I like it.
Right, and then they were passing food around as well. Right, the most amazing. I don't even know if it's on the regular menu at Embargo. I'm gonna have to find out. Lamb lollipops.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing better than these lamb
Really?
lollipops.
You like them?
Oh my god, unbelievable! I
I
devour
just
them.
don't do lamb.
I was like the Fred Flintstone of Embargo. I'm holding 4 bones in my hand. I'm eating all the lamb
Yes.
off the bones. It got so bad. No, listen, it got bad that the server who was carrying the lamb lollipops around stopped asking me if I
She
wanted
just-
one and just brought me the tray and said,
Oh, okay. I thought she was rounding the corner
No.
to as to avoid you.
because a good server when they're doing that they'll come over. Can I interest you in a arancini? Can I
Yep.
interest you in a scallop and bacon? Can I interest you in a lamb lollipop? She just started. She would come over.
Here you go. Just take the tray. And you also made her job easier.
Exactly. Less to carry.
I got rid of the tray. What do you want me to do? It's happily found its home.
But it was a great time. It's such a great charity to help out with, and I have to go online because I bid in the silent auction, and in a bunch of, and I think I was the high bidder in some
Oh.
of them, but I didn't see the final list.
Oh, okay.
I've got to find
you
that
gotta
list.
pay up. You didn't pay the lady.
Well, no, and I need to get because I was bidding on Baxter's gift cards and Tugboat's gift
Yeah, there
cards.
was a lot of great stuff.
So my theory is this, right? So, I don't mind going to a thing like that and spending some bucks because we're coming into summer, and I saw things like the Baxter's gift card, the
We're gonna
Tugboat's gift
use
cards.
them.
I'm going to be dropping a lot of money at Baxter's this
Yeah.
summer, so why not actually put some of the money towards a charity?
Yep.
So I was more than happy to do that, but I somehow today I've got to find out what I was high bidder on, so I want to go use it.
Well, he didn't have the light Bloody Marys.
no, yesterday no, but wow, what a spectacular day it was. and
It really is such a nice fundraiser that they put together. And I don't know how much they raised this year. Last year was like $24,000. It's pretty incredible.
You know-
we have some amazing fundraisers here on the Cape. Lots of great nonprofits.
I saw Crazy Ken Wade there. He was doing the
I
auction.
haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, he was doing well. He looked good. He had a nice
Yep.
Tommy Bahama shirt on.
Perfect.
That I wanted. So yeah, it was a good time. So it's if you haven't donated, you can still help out with the Kennedy Donovan Center through Dave and Marissa's charity there through Embargo. So it was a good time.
Yeah, they wonderful charity that they do it for.
Bloody
And-
Marys are filling though.
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
it's a
it's
lot
a
of
meal.
volume, right? It's a volume.
It's heartburn. I have to bring some antacid
I know,
for me.
I
It's a
know.
little bit too acidy for me.
I was a little concerned about that by the end of the day, but so it was fine,
Yeah,
because it was
as long as
over-
you were snacking and you had plenty of lamb in there.
A
so
lot of lamb.
You layered the lamb.
lots of lamb. It's a classic line. Remember my big fat Greek wedding?
Yes,
And
I cook you lamb.
he's like, you don't eat meat? I make lamb.
Exactly. Good morning, Kai, and good morning, Betty. Thank you so much. Is there a website that lists the charity events?
That's
I
a good
wish there
question.
was one
Yeah.
big Cape Cod community charity website thing we could all go on and support various ones.
Maybe we
I
should
know.
work on that.
I think it's a great thing that maybe the chamber or some sort of group. We've got to have one that can keep track of them. There are just so many. We have so many nonprofits here on the Cape,
quite a bit.
and there is pretty much something to raise money for 5 days a week.
7 days a week.
I know. We really could do it. I've got one coming up this Sunday over at Knockabout.
What do you have?
It's from 11 to 1 for Heroes in Transition.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my team is Team Hazard.
Okay.
We've got I'm the driver. I'm not. I'm there for comic relief, making sure no one dies in the middle of the woods in the middle of the night,
So-
and to make sure the car runs. That's it.
So what are they doing during the event?
So during the event, it is a race from through the entire Cape. It touches every single town of the Cape. They run.
Oh,
from,
right. No, I know that. But for your event,
For my event,
What are
we're
you guys
just
doing?
we're gathering over at Knockabout. There's a beer named after us. We've
Okay.
got some silent auction items, and you can make a donation to anybody on Team Hazard's
okay.
page. We've been fundraising for a while, so
Put that on a list.
yeah, definitely please support us. Heroes in Transition does a really great job. Yeah, there's no shortage of places you can donate money to. I've got the dance marathon coming up, and that's for the Women's Early Detection Fund,
Oh.
which is out of, it was made here. Jen Rako, who organized the dance marathon 15 years ago, started this fund, which is now a fully funded thing outside of this dance marathon,
Okay.
which is really incredible. And it goes to pick up whatever women on Cape Cod need any testing. So if you're like 35, but you got a family history and your insurance won't cover you to have your DNA tested or to see if you've got BRCA1 or 2, this will pay for that if you want to go and be early
Where's that?
mammograms and early testing. And that's through Cape Cod Hospital.
Where's that taking place?
So that's at Cape Cod Academy. And that is happening. Oh, I can't even believe that is coming up so shortly. The 29th of April, I believe. So, yeah, we are here.
That's good stuff.
It is. There's so many great places. So, yeah, plenty of places for you to donate.
Yeah, it's important to help out. So, you got to give back to the community. I've always, tried to do that,
Yeah.
as much as we can.
You and I both, though.
Yeah.
We're both suckers for charity. We're
Yeah.
like, what do you want? Here's the money.
I know. And one of the things I think that we've always tried to do, people like you and I, is that, for the positions that we've held here on the Cape, we've been able to try to leverage that, to.
Absolutely.
And anytime anytime I could help anybody out with that, I've always tried to, and I feel as though, you're given a certain level of responsibility as kind of a public citizen like us,
Yeah.
for people like us. So I think it's important.
Well, I was blown away by Matt's ability to run an auction.
I love auctioneering.
Auctioneering is your thing. I feel like you should be doing that more often. We were at a nonprofit. We were raising money for Teddy's team for the Boston Marathon, which is just about to kick off. Or the runners. Was it 9, right? First.
I think the first ones go 10. I think I'm not sure. So yeah, a colleague of mine was running for Teddy's team. Impacted. Teddy's team is an organization that Teddy Bruschi created after he recovered from his stroke. For stroke and heart attack awareness. And so every year, a certain number of people get picked who are runners who get a bib through Teddy's team, but they're required to raise money.
And this is like the third Teddy's team thing that I did this year for other members of the team. I don't know how I became the entertainer of Team Teddy this year, but it was incredible to be a part of all of these celebrations and the money that was raised for this.
And you did an amazing job doing music bingo.
Yeah, we had fun.
And it was over at the Moose. And so we did an auction at the end with a couple of items. And so I did the live auction. So I've done a lot of those over the years. I love doing live auctions.
So fun.
And so we had a good time with it. And it's been interesting. A lot of my coworkers were there.
Yep.
And there's a side of me a lot of them don't know.
Yeah.
And afterwards they're like, we didn't think you have, where'd that come from?
Yep. Oh, that charisma he can just bust out.
So, but people don't realize this. So you know where I got that from? My grandfather on my mother's side was a professional auctioneer.
Shut up.
Yeah. So when I was a young kid, you'll know this. You know what the Holy Ghost Societies are. So I'm still a member of the Holy Ghost Society up in Lowell.
I love a good feast.
Right? And, my whole family was integral in the Holy Ghost Societies in Lowell. So my grandfather was, among the jobs he had, he was a professional auctioneer, but he was the full-time auctioneer for the Holy Ghost Society in St. Anthony's Church up in Lowell. And I remember vividly sitting out on the grounds at the Holy Ghost Society grounds in Lowell. And as a young kid, just sitting there in the audience watching my grandfather do the auctions.
Yeah, and you can't help but absorb that energy.
I really feel as though I absorbed all of it and I channeled him. And years
Had
ago.
an out-of-body experience.
Yeah. And so years ago, I started doing auctions.
I love it.
Live auctions for free for charities. And so, I get into it. I love it, and so we had a good time doing that. So it was a good event, and Kelly raised a lot of money.
Hysterical. Yeah, you made people bust out their wallets, those hidden credit cards that people have in the back of their wallets.
Exactly.
Those were all out.
But did you notice, I don't want to give away my secrets, but did you notice I have some tricks
I did.
up my sleeve? Like I pretend that I'm thirsty.
Yep.
Because when you get down to 2 people and you're in a heavy bidding war and they're thinking about it, you need to give them time to think. You can pressure them to a certain point, but then when you realize you've got them on the hook a little bit, like
Trademark Matt Pitta.
Exactly. I need a drink. I'm gonna let you guys think about that for a minute. And I would take a drink, and
He took his moment. Then when he came back, he had already upped the bid again, $50, and they were like, wait a minute, did I bid that much?
Right.
I don't even know. You get them all confused.
Exactly.
Get them off their game.
Yeah.
Then they're bidding some more.
know.
Some lady bought a picture of clams for
I know, literally a picture of clams
Right?
for $500.
I was like, okay.
Right.
And it was the smaller one.
I know.
The smaller one went for more money. I don't know
know.
how less clams went for more money, but you managed to make that happen. So impressive.
I've done a couple before where the audience, we weren't set up necessarily for this, but I've done live auctions where people, we're really like into the heat of it and people are bidding. I'll come off the stage or come out and I'll go sit down next to them with a wireless mic.
Perfect.
And I'll sit, I'm like, listen, and I'll do kind of like the Phil Donahue, It's only another $10.
Let's have right? What do you got? What is in your wallet?
Come on. I mean,
let me take that.
What else are you going to do with that money? You know what I mean? And then if you can ever get
He's like a predatory lender out there.
if you're working with a charity that has any kids involvement, then it's just like it's for the children. It's for the children.
Yeah, you borrow little Tommy.
Right?
Looks sad.
I mean, who can deny helping the kids? Right? So
it's perfect.
I love doing those.
I if you can, definitely somehow get him involved in your charity and ask him to be a live auctioneer.
We'll have some fun
because it is definitely a sport you want to watch.
For
sure.
I was worn out after it, for real though.
You were exhausted. I mean, I felt every ounce of that energy just being expelled from your body. It was great. And Kelly raised like $24,000 for Teddy's team.
It's good. It's
and
good
she
time.
is about to be running right now in the Boston Marathon. I just can't even believe that we are here at this point in the spring already and halfway through April. I feel like I blinked and I lost. When did it become April?
But it's a good sign because that means that we're getting close to the summer. I'm going to get the boat in the water in about in 3 weeks it goes in to get some final work done.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be in May, so, and it's interesting. So you get to the summer, right? And then so people start calling you. Does this happen to you? Mm-hmm. The people you haven't heard from all winter?
Yep. They're visiting. They want to use my pond. They want to use my beach. Can I park at your house?
Exactly.
Can I stay at is the camper open? How many people? No, the inn is full over here at the Viva Ranch.
Right.
I've got 4 Kazakhstani doctors about to arrive at the end of May.
What?
My J1s.
Oh, the J1s. That's right. Yes.
I've got my daughter who's home is now going to be transferred in the basement. I've got my friend Greg over there is staying in the basement. Is going to be moved out to the camper. We've got no room. We are literally every room is full here at the Viva Ranch.
Wow.
Don't ask me.
Wow.
And if you want to use the beach, just go use the damn beach. You don't even have to text me. Just park there and say you know me. It's fine.
So you got no room for me this summer that I'm not coming over?
Park there and say you know me. It's fine. We do have deep water access here at John's Pond.
Oh, yeah.
So,
right.
I mean, we enjoy it. I like our pond visitors. And several people on our pond have those trampolines.
Yes.
Troublesome trampolines.
Yes.
Well, one got loose there this winter, and it was mayhem trying to get it back in.
Wow. You know what I'm thinking of getting this summer? So we'll probably be going out with some kids and stuff on the boat this summer. Have you seen these aqua mats?
Yep.
So they're pretty cool.
They're fabulous.
So I go out in the Bass River a lot, and it's kind of the fashionista thing.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a water mat, you're
nothing.
Yeah. So I feel like hashtag first world problems.
That's
I don't have
right.
a water mat for my boat in Bass River.
Right.
But
you need to get that done.
so I was out with some friends.
Sunbathing beauties on your beach mat.
Yeah.
Brings all the boys to the yard.
Right. But I was out at one point we were out last summer, I think, and a couple of my friends were like, why don't you have one of those? Like, I took you out on this boat for free.
Why don't you buy me one of those since you're always riding with me?
Right?
Funny you're not throwing in for gas. You bring like your own beer to drink, but I don't see any food in there either.
Exactly.
You're always the setup. Yeah, absolutely.
It's
We're
all
the
good,
flop
though.
house.
Yeah.
I do enjoy it though. It's fine
Me
for a
too.
few months, and I'm glad when summer's over.
Right.
It's time to go. See you next year.
Yeah.
Same time, same place.
Exactly. But it is that time of year when you start to get those I call them like a subtle inquiry. Mm-hmm. What are you doing this weekend? Mm-hmm. Or what are you going to be doing on next week? So my weekend.
What's up, summer friend?
Right. I really try to treasure my weekends in the summer.
Yeah, you have to.
Because listen, things come in full circle here in our chat here today. As I said earlier, I want to be somewhere where I don't have to have my pants on.
There you go.
I just want to be in shorts. So when I don't have to wear pants on the Cape, I want to take advantage of it as much as possible. Right? So let's be real. What are we? Pretty much Memorial Day to Labor Day where I can comfortably not have pants on.
Yep.
So, I cherish every weekend that you can when it comes to that. So I want to be on the water. I want to be out at Nauset. I want to be doing that as much as possible.
Absolutely.
For that entire summer period.
It's why we pay the taxes. It's why we
Right.
suffer the moments in the winter.
So then you get an inquiry from some friends. Oh, there's a family event taking place on this weekend. Like, yeah, you think I'm showing up?
Right?
I'm okay
In
for that.
Hadley.
Right,
Like the most
exactly.
rando place. You're like,
know.
where, what?
Right, exactly.
My aunt pulls that all the time because my uncle's birthday is the 4th of July, only they live in Pawtucket.
Oh my God.
And like, you're not even near McCoy Stadium anymore.
Right? I know.
At least there were fireworks in your backyard.
There's no reason to go to Pawtucket
No.
now, at all.
Spring break Pawtucket,
No.
4th of July Pawtucket.
No.
Not come to me. It's an hour away. Go sit in my pond.
Yeah. So summer's coming, and that'll be good. And, get the boat ready. And so.
I'm excited for all of that.
Yeah.
We'll definitely come back before it gets stupid summertime.
Yeah.
So,
We'll do May.
yeah, please.
Come back in a couple weeks.
Yeah, exactly. We've gone on. Anything else that you want to talk about before we leave?
Well, I will tell you that if we're going to be in May, there's a chance we're not going to have any pants on.
Matt, will you come over to my basement with no pants on? It's not often that you get to hear these things, and it's totally just regular. It's not fresh or anything. We just mean it.
Right. I just put my shorts on.
I want to do a field trip with you to a feast.
Oh, yeah, we have to do
So that we can maybe take the video
Yes.
and maybe we can cover a feast.
We're going to Feast of Madeira.
So can we
The
do
New
that
Bedford
with like
one.
the wine and a little
Yes.
bit of meat on a stick
Oh,
and
yes.
like show everyone like
Wait.
what our favorite parts are? Can we schedule this?
Wait, I'm going to show you my meat on a stick. Hold on. No, I heard right. What? Hold on. Wait a minute. This is I
From one Portuguese person to another, I accept photos of meat on a stick.
here's my meat on a stick.
It absolutely is beautiful though. That is beautiful meat.
I don't. They probably can't see this.
You can't. I promise next time we go live, I'll be able to drop the meat on a stick in the chat.
This is a picture for those of you at home. This is at the Feast of the Madeira in New Bedford,
It's beautiful.
and they have this amazing barbecue pit. It's probably 50 feet long. So you take your meat and you put it onto the stick. I salt it. I like to salt it a little bit. And
You put a beer on it?
no Madeira wine.
Okay.
I like to bring my own kosher salt though.
Yep. Okay.
They do have kosher salt there.
They do have the bag of salt you can buy,
Yeah,
right?
they do.
Yeah.
And what I have been doing, I used to be a purist and only put meat on my
This is
stick.
serious.
It is. But now I will put some vegetables on my stick.
Okay.
So I'll put a couple of veggies, some onions, some
Yeah.
oil, put a little onion on that and roast that up. And then you you get Portuguese pops and you take the pop and you just put it into
It's
the
bread, by the way, if
Yeah.
you don't know what we're talking about.
you put it into the bowl of meat and then you eat it like an animal. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
Now they bring their Madeira wine in from Madeira.
Yeah.
It comes in the casks. They bring it across on a boat in the casks.
It's pretty incredible.
It's amazing. And so listen, I think we have to make that work.
Yeah. It's going to happen.
You and I at the Feast of the Madeira.
Yep.
All right. We'll take out our meat sticks. We'll grill on this grill. We'll get some favage.
Yep.
We'll get some bacalhau.
I'm so into this.
I love the bacalhau.
Yeah.
All right. The
I'll watch
codfish.
you eat it. I'm not into it.
You don't like the bacalhau?
No.
They have.
Like honestly, if you're doing it right, you should not be able to open your eyes for like a solid 3 days post because you're so swollen with salt.
Exactly.
Then you did it right.
Yes. So, yeah.
like a salt lick.
When I went last year, I actually considered I was going to actually get a hotel room in New
Yeah.
Bedford because I knew that I might not be able to make it back from all the food I was going to be eating. So
There's a preparedness
there is.
to this
You got to
madness.
clean. You got to clean yourself for a couple days ahead of time, and then of course you have to get the malasadas.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's
Right.
Portuguese fried dough, and it's just the best.
Right. Now, I know this is going to turn some people off, but they have a separate dining area. You can get rabbit, and that's a Portuguese
Yeah,
delicacy.
it is.
It's
They're
a Portuguese
into it.
delicacy. And the favage, I love a favage
Yep.
bean, right?
So good.
It's so good. It's
Yeah.
so good. So
We're gonna do it. It's
Yeah.
definitely gonna happen. It's
Feast
the
of the
feast
Madeira.
with Matt and Stephanie.
yeah, I mean,
It is
oh,
happening.
there's another pic. See how big that grill is,
so good.
right?
Like that screams just summer to me right there.
It
That
really
is
does.
worth a trip over the bridge.
Yep, it is. So
It's worth it.
when I have summer events at the house, we'll have a regular barbecue, and if we go old school Portuguese,
Yep.
I tell people they don't grasp it. I said we're gonna have meat later for dessert. Like, what do you mean meat for dessert? Because what we do is during the day it will be kind of traditional things like linguiças and the chouriças and burgers, hot
Yep.
dogs for everyone else, and then we eat. Maybe have some fruit after, and then once the fire pit turns on, you bring out the meat. So the meat is the dessert at my house.
There you
So
go.
then you bring out the Portuguese meat for dessert, and some people are like, "What are you doing?"
So good.
Yeah, it's really good.
And pretty much meat anytime. Any Portuguese feast involves at least 4 meats, or
Yeah.
you're not doing it right.
I know.
Or I don't want it.
And it's interesting, like when you go to a Portuguese restaurant, we don't know what vegetables are.
What?
It's like I love to go to the one in
Because
New
some vegetarians are like, we're clicking off here.
Right.
We're done here.
But what's great about going to like a Portuguese restaurant is every other restaurant you go to, you get a starch and a vegetable.
Yep.
You go to a Portuguese restaurant, you get 2 starches.
Yes.
So you go to a place like
3.
You go to a place
The
like
bread, it's the potatoes, and
Yes.
the rice.
You go to a place like Antonio's in New
Yes.
Bedford, and you get. We'll get the steak Antonio's.
Yep.
Which I mean, this will blow your mind. Those of you who don't know, ready for your mind to be blown. An amazing piece of steak with a piece of ham over the top, and they
Egg.
drop a fried egg on top
Yep.
of it, and they put some brown sauce on
Yeah.
top of it. Then your options are potatoes, roasted potatoes or boiled potatoes. Always get the roasted.
Yep.
And rice. Not a green thing to be found on that
Nope.
plate.
There might be a pepper that's in your rice.
Right, exactly.
That's green, right?
And there's nothing better than that.
Yeah, and so much garlic that you can actually see your aroma stench coming off of you.
So they have an appetizer there, which I can't pronounce it properly, but it's Little Necks Bulhao. I think it's Bulhao Bulhao.
Yep.
So, and it's the Little Necks swimming in a saute with huge chunks of garlic in it.
It's like vignadage. It's
Right.
delicious.
So I eat that. Then I'm so Portuguese. I take a big spoon and they want to take
the
away.
ladle.
They want to take the pot away from me. I keep
No.
I keep the pot at the dinner table, and I eat the garlic, like just.
I'm telling you,
scooping it.
yeah, Portuguese food is like being a savage, and I absolutely love it.
But then for 2 days afterwards, then you feel bad.
Yeah.
Because you know that you're exuding garlic.
Yeah.
So the next morning after I have a meal like that, and I'm in the shower.
I'm calling in sick.
No, but I don't know. Maybe a doctor can message us as to why this happens. I'm not kidding. After a day that I've had a meal like that,
Yeah.
the next morning in the shower, when the water hits me, my arms smell
Salty.
like garlic.
Salty and garlicky.
I mean, if someone licked my arm, I'd be a tasty Portuguese treat. You know what I mean? Oh,
Cannibals need not apply. We don't want to see you.
but it's weird. It's true. When after you have a meal like that with so much garlic and stuff,
Yeah.
it just comes out. So I feel bad.
Yep.
Because if I'm around non-Portuguese, they don't understand.
Yeah, but Portuguese people know that smell right away. You just know. You're
Right?
like, oh, were you at a Vo's house?
Exactly.
Yes, I was. Or I was at a feast.
Oh my God, that reminds me of a great story about my avó, God rest her soul.
Yep.
So that woman lived to 95.
That's impressive.
Do you know she had every tooth in her head? All her adult teeth.
That's
Now
amazing.
think about that. I mean, today it's more common, but think about
Well, they didn't have a refined sugar like that, like
Right,
we do
right.
now.
So she's past 10 plus years now. Okay.
Yeah.
But think about the time she grew up in. She was from Madeira. She
Yeah.
wasn't from here. She still had all of her adult teeth.
That's pretty
At that
impressive.
age. Till the day that she actually injured herself, she actually got hurt in her house. She was shoveling snow at 94 years old. She was a stubborn Portuguese
Yeah,
woman,
that's it.
right?
You don't need you to do it for
But
me.
she had all the old school remedies. And you know what? I'm trying now at this stage of my life to, you know what? I'm going to try to embrace the way she lived in terms of her remedies.
Okay.
Vinegar is the
For
be-all
everything.
and everything, right?
It's a cleansing product. It's a sickness product. It's a food item. It's all of the things.
I love vinegar. I'll just take a teaspoonful.
That's
and,
it.
And
That's
I'll tell
what
you
they said. Apple cider vinegar.
Listen, no joke. I've got a chronic bad back. If I take
Some vinegar on it.
no, I don't pour it on it. But if I go on a vinegar regimen for like a month,
Yeah.
it reduces inflammation.
There you go.
And I notice a difference in the inflammation in my back. So, flash backwards now.
Yeah.
Back to the 80s.
Yep.
Everything's coming full circle today.
Yeah.
I remember it was this girl I was dating in high school. We had to go see my grandmother, and it was the winter. And I prepped her. I said, listen to me. I said, you understand, she is old school when it comes to all her remedies. This is how my grandmother would stay healthy in the winter. I'm not kidding you. Strike me down now if I'm even half making this up. She would take washcloths, soak them in vinegar, then take them and put them over the heat register and crank the heat up in the house to aerate the vinegar.
It makes sense.
She would aerate the vinegar. You'd walk in and you thought you just fell into a Portuguese dish. So we were heading over there.
Like, am I being pickled?
Right?
What's happening here?
So we were heading over there. Now, luckily, this girl is Italian. So,
Yeah.
and she was from a very Italian family.
Okay.
So she kind of got it.
She gets familial idiosyncrasies.
So when we were pulling in, I remember this so vividly. We're pulling in. I said, "Hey, listen, before we go in, it's going to stink like vinegar." I was like, "What do you mean it's going to stink like vinegar? It's winter and it's a cold day. She's aerating vinegar in the house."
Yep.
So we walked in and literally the place was wafting.
Well,
with
it's a
vinegar.
disinfectant, and it gets rid of like spores and mold and all kinds of dust. She's smart.
She was never sick, Stephanie.
Yeah.
She, to the day she died, she didn't take medicines.
Yeah.
She was on no, what do we call them? Not preventative, but
Yeah, any of
what
that
type of
heart
medicines
medication.
that we medicines that you take because you have to, whatever they
Yeah,
call it. I can't remember the
exactly.
word. So she was never on those, and so but then you would have to change your clothes.
Yeah, right.
You couldn't
Oh,
go-
yeah. Yeah.
You couldn't go out in public after that. But
I mean, there's a life, and then there's the life that you choose.
maintenance medicine.
That's
what
okay. No maintenance
Right.
medicine.
But I do love it. I love vinegar. You know,
My mother-in-law lived to be, she was almost 90. My father-in-law, 95, smoked butts every day, but he grew his own tobacco in his Portuguese, like little weird garden that he had back there and would roll up with the tobacco leaves.
no preservatives.
Nothing. No. Smoke every single day. The man was crazy.
But he was healthy.
He was
right?
healthy.
Don't you think some of those don't you
And
think,
worked.
Yeah.
I mean, his back was curved like this, but
Right.
that man could still carry a ladder and was still doing masonry until the day he died.
Of course he did masonry.
It's crazy.
What else would he do? He's Portuguese. I mean, come
That's
on.
stonework. I got this.
Stonework and construction. What else is there?
Looking at my ex-husband, are you going to let your dad do that? He's fine. That's
Yeah,
what he
right?
does. Just let him do it.
Don't you think we need to start thinking about going back to the older remedies?
There are things that we should still be doing, and then if you don't use it, you lose it. There is that mentality, and it makes sense.
So you mentioned processed sugar. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get all crazy serious here, but this is beginning in January. I have tried to cut back almost all processed sugar.
Okay.
Right. So I want to get healthier for the summer.
Yeah,
I
for
want-
sure. Life.
I got to tell you something. It is shocking what a difference not having so much processed sugar
Absolutely.
has had in my life.
Yeah.
You know what? Especially with inflammation.
Mm-hmm.
So by the end of the day, especially when I had pants on, but you can't. But by the end of the day,
I'll see it better when he's not wearing pants.
but by the end of the day, you get home, my ankles would get all swollen. You get that.
Yeah.
And finally, I kind of figured it out. So I cut way back on the processed sugar. It's amazing how much it helps with the inflammation. Try to be a little better with the carbs, et cetera. Working on that. So
Yeah.
But I think we have to go back to that. The natural things like the vinegars of the world.
Yep.
There's
something to be said from that. Look at us. From a fanny pack to this old world conversation in Portugal.
Right.
You never know what you're going to get.
Oh man, are you going back anytime soon?
So we're talking about a piece of property.
The Azores?
So yeah,
Okay, good.
my bestie Tom was my husband. Just picked him up yesterday. Spent the last 10 days in Madeira.
Nice.
I know. So yes, it is absolutely stunning. I suggest you do so. It's a 5-hour flight. It's a direct flight, and head to the Azores.
Yeah.
Go check out the islands. It really is like being in Hawaii. I'm not kidding.
So you can do the Azores direct now from Providence and Boston, right? And it's from here direct. It's 4 hours and change.
Yeah,
right?
it's the easiest flight.
So if you could do that, right, you could go to the Azores, maybe spend a couple days there, and from there to Madeira, what's like an hour and 10, 20 on the plane?
Yeah, it's not that long.
hour and a
It
half?
depends. Anywhere between 45 minutes to an hour and a half between inter-islands.
Okay.
All of them. And we did Pico and we did Terceira, we
Yep.
did San Miguel. We didn't get to Madeira. So I'm definitely excited to go back and see the other islands and see the mainland and see where it happens. But apparently there's a big exodus of people from the United States flocking to Portuguese
I'm not
cities
surprised.
because it's cheaper living. So I mean, land is getting scarcer to purchase.
I'm not surprised.
No, it's
Because
beautiful living.
You can live in an EU country, European lifestyle. It's a modern lifestyle, and I hear that the climate in the Azores is almost the same, right?
It's
It's like
beautiful.
a year-round 70-ish, mid-70s climate. Or
It
so.
is like being in Hawaii.
Right.
I'm not kidding. There's waterfalls and there's volcanoes, and it's on like the same meridian or
Right.
whatever it is from there. It's stunning. So I definitely suggest you go and see it.
My dad's been there a couple times, and he's He's a historian of our family. He wrote the family history, did all that kind of stuff years ago. And he's got records going back centuries for the family, for both sides of our family, his side and my mom's side. So he brought with him records from the Azores from his grandmother. And he's fluent in Portuguese and met up with some local guides, if you will, and wanted to get some info on the area and wanted to try to find where his grandmother was from. And so this guy he found was very knowledgeable, and he said, I know exactly where that village is, et cetera, et cetera. He said, I'll take you on a day trip. So they went on a day trip. So he found the actual piece of property, the plot where his grandmother's house used to stand.
Yeah.
And all it is all that was left is remnants of a foundation. So apparently what happened, so his mother lived in Madeira. His grandmother from his other side was from the Azores. But apparently when people were kind of fleeing from Europe at that point, especially places like Portugal and the Azores, they just left.
Yeah.
Literally packed and got on a boat.
It's wild.
And they abandoned their properties.
Yeah.
So the guy was telling my dad, he said, in many cases, the government just never did anything with these properties.
Yeah, no, they don't know what to do with it.
And he said, you probably still own it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a
pay some back taxes.
It's a laborious process, but so he never did that. But I started looking for property in the Azores, and you could still find like a land for like 20 grand.
Yeah.
I mean, you may not be able to build on it, but it gets you citizenship.
Right.
That's what's key.
Well, that's exactly it. The golden parachute is which
Right.
they refer to that, and I think it's like $250,000, which is like cheaper than buying anything here.
Well, you can't buy anything. Like
And
for
right,
$250,
exactly.
Yeah.
Where my dad is from there, so we went to my dad's village, and I was like, okay, that's it.
Really? You blinked and you were already through it?
That's terrible.
Oh, boy.
And one of our friends was like, did you go to there's like one small little, it's almost like a club.
A Portuguese club?
Yeah. Has like warm beer on like Tuesdays. I was like, all right, yeah, no, we were not impressed with Candelaria, where my dad was from. So we left. But I mean, I did feel something being there. It is,
Yeah.
it is.
Did you?
Yeah, I definitely did. I don't know if anyone believes in that, but
I do.
I was overcome with like sadness and like weird familial something.
Yeah.
When I was there, it was
I've got
weird.
to get there. I've got to get there.
Definitely, I suggest it and tear yourself away. Leave Miami. Key West will still be there.
It will be. I've been to Lisbon.
Yeah.
When I was younger, when I was a teenager, my parents and I went to Portugal. And it was interesting, again, because my dad had done all the family history. So he knew we had cousins still in Lisboa, in Lisbon. And because his grandmother kept in touch with them, So he reached out to them. This is, back in the day, snail mail. He sent them a letter, said, my name is Herbert.
Oh, they
Pitta,
love visitors.
right? My name is Herbert Pitta. I'm going to come visit. Would you be interested in meeting us? He sent all the different family ties. They wrote back and said, we would love to meet you. Please come visit us. So here's what's really interesting. So we go there, go to Lisbon. My father, we find the apartment that they live in. We go up. They open the door. They look like us, which is kind of
That's so freaky.
right? So they open the door. Everyone hugs all around. My mom, both my mom and dad spoke Portuguese, so they're doing all the speaking. So we walk in, and they have a wall of pictures of family from around the country and around the world. This was what was really freaky. We walk in, right? There's a picture of my father in his Vietnam uniform on their wall.
That's wild.
Because his mother had sent photos to all the family back during when he was in the war.
Yep.
To send them photos and pray for Herb. He's going to be in war. So she sent pictures to all the family members in Portugal. They had his picture on the wall. His picture had been hanging on the wall.
That's wild.
In Lisbon for all these years. But here's what's even kind of crazier. So when he had written to them, he said, my name is Herbert Pitta. His dad was also Herbert. They thought it took them about a half an hour while we were in their apartment for them to realize he was actually my dad. They thought he was my grandfather, Herbert.
Oh, wow.
And all of a sudden, like, wait a minute, you're too young. What? And they didn't realize that his father had passed.
Yeah.
But there we were in Lisbon with a picture of my dad.
That's awesome.
Crazy.
Yeah, it is a small world.
You know?
And yeah, there's something to be said about crazy Portuguese families.
And Lisbon is beautiful.
They're always watching you. You think?
Oh, yeah, always watching.
You think those closed circuit cameras are a problem? Somebody City is watching it all happen.
The Portuguese were the first surveillance cameras of the world. Hey,
100%.
Yo, Vovu is watching you. Your Vavu has an eye on you. Right? You know, and you can see a picture of your Vavu in her apron with her hair in a bun and her big glasses. And in this hand is the wooden spoon.
That's it.
That you're about to get the crap kicked out of.
Or a shoe,
Or a shoe.
depending.
No, I always got the spoon.
We got a slipper.
I got the wooden spoon all the time. And once they broke it on my butt by mistake. But it was always the wooden spoon.
Times were tough. All right, that's going to wrap things up for us. Matt, where can people find you? If you got a charity event or something fun coming up, anything exciting?
I don't have anything.
Seaside Le Mans.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
Right, yeah.
Thank you. So Seaside Le Mans, which is we operated under the Davenport companies. This is a charity race at Mashpee Commons. It will be the first Saturday in September.
You just announced the beneficiaries,
Right?
correct?
Yep. So you go to seasidelemans.com, check out all our beneficiaries. Stephanie will be our DJ and announcing with me at Seaside Le Mans.
And him and I together, obviously, as you've heard for the last hour and a half, not a problem.
I know. They have to finally
We're
say,
good.
they finally said, you guys got to go.
All right, it's over. It's been over for an hour and a half. Put your microphones away.
Right? So, yeah, if you'd like to help out with that, we're accepting cart sponsorships. All the money goes towards our charities. This year it's Sharing Kindness and Cape Cod Healthcare. We've got a lot of other great charities this year. Cape Tech Foundation, which is helping all of our technical high school students.
Amazing.
With tool ships, et cetera.
We need skilled workers.
So we're almost $9 million has been raised over 20 years.
Insane.
Yep. So we'd love your help with that. So with Seaside Le Mans, that'll be kind of probably my next big charity work that we're doing over the summer. So
Love it. I'll be out tonight if you're looking for a little bit of trivia and didn't do anything fun over the weekend because you were working. Monday night is definitely an industry night, and we have a great time. Trivia, Dino's from 6 to 8. That's where you will find us. Great prizes tonight with Lemonadio, so come on by.
is it trivia or music bingo tonight?
It's both.
It's both.
It's both. We do a music trivia.
Okay.
And it's like a combination of that. And then when we have ties, we have feats of strength.
Oh.
So we've added putt-putt to the mix because we've got the room. We've got a projector that sometimes we do like name that face.
Oh, nice.
You never know what. Monday's our test kitchen for all of our games. So it's very, very fun to see this because we've got the space for it at Dino's.
Feats of strength like the Seinfeld?
Yes.
Festivus for the rest of us?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. I'm going to have to come down on Monday and check
Yeah,
that one out.
Mondays are really fun. And once again, it's our test kitchen. So we've
Right.
got the space for it. So you never know what the hell you're going to get. Just know that you will be entertained. There are prizes and you will have a good time.
sounds
and that's
good.
it. Bring your brain and your friends and fun.
And wear your pants.
So, yeah. I mean, pants are pretty much a requirement.